Congressman of Florida, Dan Webster, is the one the Freedom Caucus said yesterday, frankly, really out of nowhere, we'd like for him to be the new Speaker of the House. We'd like to enter his name into the running. And then, of course, you know what happened today. Republican of Florida, Dan Webster, running to become Speaker of the House. And now he is our guest live from Capitol Hill. I'll roll forward, please. Congressman Webster, good afternoon. It's great of you to be here, and thank you.
Good afternoon, Shepard.
I should start with an admission. My mom is from Florida's first and lived there for 30 years before her passing a couple of years ago. And she was one who kept up with Florida Republican politics a lot. And with great respect, I didn't know you, sir, until I started hearing your name yesterday. And I feel like probably as a result, or in addition, a lot of our viewers don't either. I wonder if you could tell our viewers about yourself and why it is you want to be Speaker of the House.
Well, I was in the Florida legislature for 28 years. I was the first Republican Speaker in 122 years there and led us to the first majority we'd ever had. So that's kind of my history in Florida. Then after that, I was term limited out in the House and Senate and then ran for Congress.
What would your, if elected Speaker of the House, what would your agenda be?
My agenda is I have a problem with the way the House is run. I believe that a few people at the top of a pyramid of power have controlled this place for a long time. I want to push down the pyramid of power like I did in Florida, spread out the base so every member has a chance to be effective, take up the most important bills first, not last, and empower the members to pass their own bills. It's a totally different system. I call it a principle-based system versus a power-based system.
Congressman, you're a member of the Freedom Caucus. It's the Freedom Caucus that pushed out Speaker Boehner. Why? What was the objection?
Well, I'm not a member, so I wasn't privy to all of their discussions. I was only a candidate who went and interviewed, and they actually decided that I would be the best candidate.
And what gave you the head over heels over everyone else?
I think they loved the fact that we were going to actually work on doing the most important issues first, and they loved the fact that at least they're going to get a chance. If you push down that pyramid of power and spread out the base, every member gets a chance to file their bill and have it heard and file their amendment and have it heard, as opposed to the system we have now, which closes down bills, limits debate and so forth. So I think that rang true with them. What they want is just an opportunity to present their case.
Most important issues first. Congressman, what are the most important issues specifically, if you would?
The most important issues are the appropriation bills, all 12 of them. That is the set of bills that we have to pass every year, and many times we run right up to the deadline and then just pass a continuing resolution. I believe we, like I did in Florida, we took them up first, got them out the door, got them down to the Senate, and I believe that pushes the pressure on them to actually act on those and get true appropriation bills as opposed to just continuing what we're doing now.
Were you there this morning when Kevin McCarthy withdrew his name?
I was.
Could you describe, I understand that the microphone and public address system wasn't working properly. Could you describe what has so far been described to us as chaos from your perspective in that room?
I didn't think it was chaos. I did hear, and I think some people could not hear, but I did hear him stand up. At first, he started off like he starts off his speeches when he's been doing these interviews, because I'm usually either there or following him. And then all of a sudden, just a couple of sentences into it, he withdrew his name. And I think people did not hear that part. I heard it. I was shocked.
His name is out. Your name is still in. Why won't they have a vote to let the members decide whether they want you to be the Speaker?
Well, I haven't asked that question publicly or privately, but I've certainly thought about it, and yes, I do have an idea.
Well, share that with us if you would. Thank you.
Well, I would say, maybe I'll just reverse it and say, I think if I had dropped out, the election would have gone on.
It probably would have. But do you have a sense for why it didn't go on?
I don't. I think, and it could have been, I think the Speaker was shocked, our current Speaker. And the whole room was, but I don't think he knew it was coming either.
You've gotten to know the 40 from the Freedom Caucus well enough for them to put you up for this job. Is there someone whom the majority could offer up, whom the Freedom Caucus would go ahead with? In other words, is there a chance for compromise, or has the time for compromise passed?
That I could not tell you, but I don't think the time for compromise has passed. I don't believe that. I don't know exactly who that might be, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to bridge that gap. I think I can. I know I did it in Florida. We had no different, divided conference and different things that were happening. And so I believe those things can all work out if we take our time and do them.
Of course, my understanding from our folks on the Hill is that there aren't enough votes to get you elected. Do you know?
Well, you never know. I haven't. I think with Kevin out there, we could branch out, and I think there might be an opportunity.
Would you like to get everyone on the record, Congressman?
You mean like
for
I'm not
whom
sure I
they support?
understand exactly what
this
you're
isn't
asking.
a yay or nay vote is so often the case in Congress. This is a vote in support of a fill in the blank.
Yes, and so I'm going to work as hard as I can to see as many members as I can, given the new dynamic, a new group of candidates, and we'll see what happens. I believe I can win some people over. I do.
They're smiling kind of ear to earish in the White House today. Democrats seem to be loving this thing that's happening. Is this serving the party and the people well? And if so, how?
Well, you know, having elections is a good thing. Having a selection is a good thing. Having a candidate drop out right at the last minute is probably not that great. Like I said, I was very shocked that took place.
It has the feeling of a sort of internal civil war, doesn't it? Where the center hasn't really held and the right is sort of making a power play here. Does it look that way to you?
No, it doesn't. I think a lot of people might want to play it that way, but I think we have a good unified group of people when it comes to friendships, so it's not personal. And I think now if it's only issues, that's a different story. If it gets personal, then that's when you have trouble, and I don't believe it is personal.
I wasn't suggesting that. What I was suggesting was that the political center has lost hold. The political establishment within the GOP has lost hold. Witness the exit of the establishment's John Boehner, and the political right, the Freedom Caucus, has gained power through strength and coordination. Fair enough?
And yes, but what I'm telling you is what I'd like, the House I want to see is one that gives up the power, pushes down that pyramid of power, spreads out the base. When you let everyone be a part and be effective, then a lot of those things that are dividing us go away.
So that would mean those who are the establishment, those who are almost by definition in power, would make the decision to give up the power that they now have. And you think that's possible?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, you know, you were talking about the power of the Freedom Caucus, the power of this group, power of that group. I'm saying if we all gave in, including the Speaker of the House, and said, look, for the good of the order, let's become servants instead of power leaders, and let's move forward. And I think if we do that, and you give everybody a shot, it doesn't mean their issue passes. It just means they get a chance to pass it.
Congressman, it's great of you to be here. Thank you very much. We'll keep close touch.